3, 2, 1, clap. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Properties of Nature podcast. I'm Cade Perrin, the drummer for Properties of Nature, and I'm officially resigning as the host of the Properties of Nature podcast this episode. The new host is now Canyon Drake Everstar Malloy.
Yo, what up the fuck, everybody?
Host.
Hey, it's me, the new host of the Properties of Nature podcast, Canyon Drake the fuck Malloy, Morningstar, Everstar. I forget which one I say, but you know, you guys get it. Dude, that's just such an honor. Thank you, Cade. Is this the thing now? We just
anytime.
Pass it to everybody, like every new episode?
I was going to ask if I could actually have it back next episode.
We'll see. It's up to me now, so we'll see.
It's up to the fans.
It's up to the fam.
It's up to Josh to fucking do his intro.
It's up to Josh to fucking talk.
Hey guys, it's me, Josh. I sing for the band and the Properties of Nature podcast.
What's up, everyone? It's Thomas Heath. I'm the motherfucking business of the motherfucking band. And I am a usurper today. I'm actually the host of the podcast.
Wow. I only had it for a couple minutes, but that's okay.
I usurped you.
Slurped.
And we got a special guest today.
Special guest. What the heck? Who do we got? If you want to introduce yourself and, you know, what you're from.
What's up? Michael Skaggs. I sing in the band Outline in Color.
Dude, that's it's crazy to have you here. That's super cool. But then just to let everybody know, we each individually had our own like technical just fucking blowout for whatever reason. Like my stuff started popping in Discord. Josh's internet went out. Thomas, I mean, he had to see an update and it spooked him. He had to use a different audio.
It's just been the most cursed tech day of all time.
This has never happened. I promise.
It's a good start to an episode. That, you know, it keeps things interesting because that's how it's. I mean. People are always going to remember this is the episode where we surpassed all expectations to get to our final goal, right?
That's right.
Every single episode has gone smoothly for the last like 40 episodes, and then just like a train wreck today.
Well, there's some days where you have to learn, like, do you really want this?
Yeah, do you really want to interview Michael Skaggs from Outline in Color? And it's
Michael,
like,
do you only do vocals, or I thought you did guitar too?
I've played many things in this band.
Okay. Are you the primary writer or like?
At this point in time, I am one of the primary writers. I'm the front man for the band right now. But I've played bass, I've done vocals, I've done keyboards. I've just kind of.
Oh my God! So why have you been bounced around so much?
Well, I mean, I guess it's kind of different for each reason. Each reason is kind of like indicative of the circumstances we were against at the moment. But I started out on keyboards, I guess, like back in the beginning, and we started getting some like attention online, like through Myspace.com and you know, things of the sort. And
a long time ago.
Yeah, so like we had some record labels like ask us to come out to LA and like, you know, do some showcases and stuff like that. And at the time I was playing keyboards. We had 2 guitar players, a drummer, 2 vocalists. And we showcased and these labels were like, "Is your bass player sick?" and we're like, "Nah, we just put the bass on the backtrack. We play keyboards live, and like, you know, that's what we do." And they're like,
"Did they not like that?"
Yeah, they're like, "Interesting."
Like, oh.
They were like, "Wow, you guys fucking dumb." You're like, "No, that's just who we are. Fuck you." And they're just like, "Well, you gotta have a bassist."
Yeah, I mean, that was just kind of like our first like run-in with the music industry, I guess, you know, and that was like coming from the top, I guess. It was like Sumerian Records and like Epitaph Records were just like, what the fuck, guys?
So how long were you guys like a thing, like posting, like making actual music before they hit you up?
Like not very long. Like we were not ready for those showcases at all, like whatsoever.
Damn.
So like we went back home, and after that we're just like, well, we really want to do this shit. And I was in band in high school and multi-musical, and they were just like, "Are you down to play bass?" And it's like, "Yeah, I have a bass. I'll figure it out." So
you'd never had experience before?
I mean, I had played guitar and stuff, but not like for a band or anything. So I figured out all the bass stuff. We put all the keys on the backtrack, kind of switched it over, and for a number of years I played bass, and like 2019, I guess, I kind of stepped up to frontman, and we used to do the two frontman thing, and once we stopped having like two guitar players and a bass player, it just got kind of like cluttered on stage. So our singer moved to bass because he used to play a pop punk band where he played guitar and was like the front man for that band. So like it was just like super easy for him to jump on. Well, I wouldn't say easy, but like he handled it very well. So now we're like single front man, bass player that sings, two guitar player, drummer like outfit.
I feel so stuck in my ways. If someone was like, Canyon, you have to go do something else, I'm like, oh, I can't shoot. This is my whole life I put into guitar. And they're like, yeah, go play keys. I'm like, I don't know how to play keys, dude.
Hey, you could play bass, though.
I could play bass, but no, honestly,
Thomas,
if
play guitar.
If I was the bassist in a band, I'd probably have the most fun time.
Man,
I feel like
I would not let Canyon be the bassist. We would have just
I'm gonna be honest.
Dude, I'd just be noodling too much.
I feel like almost every band we've interviewed has been like, yeah, so I played guitar, but then I ended up having to play bass, so then I was the bassist, I guess.
Dude, that's
almost every single band.
Literally
our story as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's like a rite of passage for bands. Like,
you gotta end up on the bass at some point.
We gotta like move. There's always like some asshole guitar player you gotta move through. I'm not really speaking personally.
When you started playing the bass, though, you ended up liking it a lot, right?
Yeah, super fun. I loved playing bass.
See?
Everybody
okay, so me and Thomas
were
originally guitarists, and we were like, no, I don't want to play the fucking bass. That's lame.
No, it's a blast.
And then you start playing it, and you're like, God damn, this is actually really fucking sick.
Yeah, it's like when you're in the studio, you want to like rip and stuff, but when you're like live, you just like want to have fun, and the bass is like by far the easiest instrument to just have fun on.
Yeah,
dude,
you can groove on it, dude.
Real fun.
Holds everything together.
Sure. Yeah, and you can still like be awesome musically and play bass, but like you don't have to be to like pull off the part, you know?
And in a live setting, you know, the bass is the thing making people's like rib cages vibrate. So
absolutely.
Like, dude, it's sick.
Yeah, no.
I kind of wish I could switch to bass not at some point, maybe like have like another band where I'm just the bassist, because I'm a really good guitarist, but if I could just be on bass, I'd be a real good fucking bassist. I'd even simplify some stuff if I needed to, but then I could just go on stage and just have like a really good time. Just focus on just like enjoying the vibe. Because when you're playing guitar, you're just like, fuck, I gotta hit every fucking note. There's 1,000 notes I gotta play, and you gotta make sure you hit them like real good at least, and maybe not 100% perfect.
Yo, Michael, so your band is 100% responsible for our band having our fucking instruments tuned to drop C.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. Yeah. Why do you guys have to tuned to drop C other than just getting low notes or what?
We don't play like really heavy stuff. We just play like normal stuff. Like
just in
stuff
drop
that
C.
could be played in E. We could be in E standard or drop D. There's no reason for us to be in drop C. But I remember when we first started, it was just me and Canyon. And we were like, damn, I want us to play like Outline and Color, or what was that other band that was like, I got a 20 in my pocket and a dead best friend. Yeah, My Heart to Fear.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Throwback.
We were gonna play music like that, and we just absolutely did not. We could not play the kind of music you guys were playing. Like for some reason, we just couldn't write it.
Figure it out.
So we started writing weird shit.
Is that Michael? Is that what you guys wanted to do from the beginning? You got this band together, and you were just like, "Yo, let's just like write some heavier stuff," or what was like your original intention?
Yeah. So like, CJ and our old guitar player Forrest were like from this band that was like local, and I had played in a bunch of local bands. Almost all the bands I played in before Outline were like quite a bit heavier than this band. And Forrest and CJ played in a band that was like kind of like a not, I don't know, like the guitars were good and stuff, but like they were kind of like aiming to be like a Broadway or like kind of like in that vein, like high pitched singer, but like with some like manic screaming, like kind of early Dance Gavin Dance kind of vibes.
Okay.
And that band kind of like broke up, and Forrest and CJ started making demos together, and they were like the original, I guess, like ideas for outline and color. And it was, I mean, it was actually really inspired by this like post-hardcore hardcore EP that Christopher Drew from Never Drop called Elon, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so like it was just kind of like, you know, like breakdowns with like disco beats and like synths and stuff. And at the time, like I mean, I think Attack had put out some stuff, and Of Mice and Men had put out some stuff, but there really just like weren't a lot of bands doing that kind of like thing. Like there was Devil Wears Prada, but that was like much, I feel like, heavier and more aggressive and technical than
Yeah,
what
they
we
were pretty
doing.
heavy.
Yeah, especially in the beginning. Like, so like, I guess to answer your question, like, yeah, we just kind of like went into it, and we kind of had like our first EP was like the first collection of songs that we had made together, and they all kind of just had this like sound that made them justified on a release together, I guess.
Yeah, it just sounded like it. Is that so? You released this EP, right? And then, like, was it immediately that people were like, "Oh, these guys got like this crazy sound, we got to reach out," or was it like months or years down the line, or?
Man, it was like, so you have to consider like social media worked dramatically different at that time.
That was going to be one of my questions later on, is like the difference. But do you think it's better like getting popular then because it's harder because you can't reach out, but like also not everybody's getting famous, whereas nowadays everybody's blowing up over like social media stuff? Like,
it's definitely a catch-22 because like back then, I want to say when we released our first EP, we had like 1,500 followers on Facebook or something like that. But back then, that meant 1,500 people saw every post that we made every single time. Like it showed up in your timeline. So like even at that point in time, like that was enough to create like maybe not like what would be considered today like a viral like thing, but coming from like a band with zero following whatsoever, never playing a show, and then being able to post things and have them like get, you know, a few hundred likes,
interactions and stuff.
Yeah, it was just like we were putting stuff out there and immediately getting reaction from it. So it was, and that was something different than we had experienced in any local band that we had been in before. It'd always just been like, if we play some stuff in front of some people, they might buy our CDs and then they'll be like, "Hey man, this is a cool CD." But like there weren't people like discovering us so much on the internet. Whereas like now,
but you guys were also releasing on like MySpace though, right?
Yeah. So like right about the time that we started actually releasing music, Facebook started opening up. I don't even think we were having pages at that point, but you could like make a profile, and then ultimately I got like transferred into what is now like a page. But at the beginning, it was just like, you know, you had to be like invited to Facebook if you were in college, and then they opened up to high schoolers, and then they started doing like interest pages.
Dude,
and stuff like that.
I totally forgot about all that for Facebook. That's crazy that one, like, I mean, I guess now looking back, it kind of feels like a long time ago, but it doesn't feel like that long ago that we got Facebook. I remember joining it like probably like in my teens or something like that.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I was had probably been 16 or 17 or something like when we got on Facebook.
Dude,
or
that's
like
crazy. Think about how long ago.
On Facebook. Yeah.
When I personally, I was older. I'm sure I was like a little bit late to that, but I didn't honestly spend that much time on Facebook just because I don't know. It felt a little weird. Now I'm more used to social media and stuff like that. Yeah. But
no, I agree. Dude, I was used to MySpace and being able to like infinitely customize like everything, and then it was like white page with blue accents.
Yeah, you get what you get.
You can change your bio and like that's it, and you can keep it up to like 20 words. That's your bio, and I'm like, all right, I guess I'll just describe myself in 20 words, whatever.
Yeah, I remember.
I never used MySpace. I never used it before.
Oh man, I remember. I
missed that whole thing.
To design like HTML code for like our MySpace and stuff like that, so that it would like have our show dates and stuff like that.
I feel like if MySpace never died, dude, do you know how cool it would probably be right now? I feel like it still would have been just the customization.
Bro,
Bro,
customization of it, dude.
You could customize your shops on Neopets. That's what I used to do.
Dude, true. We
Let's
all need to
go
we need
customize
to
our
hop
shops
on
on Neopets.
Neopets.
VampireFreaks.com.
Holy shit. Oh my god.
Instead of telling people to go to propertiesofnature.com, we're going to be like, all right, check out our Neopets shop.
Yeah, go to propertiesofnature.com/furry.neopets, and then they go there, and then we have like our furry line of clothing to like us to appeal to the Neopet family.
There you go.
Dude,
There
I'm
you
down
go.
for that.
I've been doing
That's
this
so
really
sick.
cool thing to our other singer, John, where, do you know what long Furbies are?
No.
Oh
I
yeah,
think the ones
the
with
ones
the
that have like
heads, like, come out of
1,800
the-
legs and like look like caterpillars.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
There's like
I
this
don't.
account. There's this account on
Google.
Instagram that posts them, and some of them are really disturbing. And I keep sending them to
They're
John.
pretty disturbing.
Oh, he hates it. It's great.
There's the,
Dude,
you know the
Even
you know
worse.
Go on,
Dude,
Josh.
so somebody did the long Furby thing. It literally looks like the long Furbies. Dude, they did it with baby chickens.
What?
Baby chickens?
Like somebody
real
who did
chicken?
like, what's it called when you make a dead animal into like you stuff it?
Taxidermy.
Taxidermy. Yeah,
Oh.
these taxidermy people.
Yo.
It was literally, I found an Etsy account because I follow a page on Facebook called Bad Taxidermy because it's just stupid. Stupid memes get posted on it because I followed it. I saw this post where somebody made this fucking long Furby out of little baby chickens, and they made a fucking amalgamate ball of baby chicken heads and feet. Just it's this fucking ball.
Bro, don't go on
It's so
Reddit,
messed
you know?
up. Like,
You can't go
dude,
on Reddit
what the
anymore.
hell?
Bro, look
You
what I
gotta-
hell is wrong
posted
with
in
people?
the secret gamer chat.
Bro, you know we're on a podcast, right?
Yeah, we are on a
It's an
podcast.
audio podcast, Thomas.
I was just telling the guys before you got on here that I live on a farm and that we have chickens here. So that was
Oh, you got
yeah.
little
That was
baby chickens. Is it
beautiful.
Yeah.
okay? So let
do.
me
So
say
you like
so.
chickens? You don't want to see the amalgamate long Furby chickens.
precisely.
No.
So wait, you live on a farm?
Yeah.
What all do you grow on? I'm just asking because I recently started growing stuff like fruits and veggies and stuff like that. I moved out to Virginia, so now I got like there's actual property out here where you can grow stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't take a lot to grow like a fair amount of food, you know, just for like single people, a couple people.
Sure.
So you have like how big of a farm you got? Like
It's 5 acres.
on a farm we talking?
5
Oh,
acres.
5 whole ass acres. What kind of animals you got on there?
We have 2 horses, a mule, a donkey,
What the heck?
9 ducks, a couple chickens, some
Nine
Little
Yeah.
baby
cats.
ducks.
Dude, I fucking love ducks.
Oh,
Bro,
yeah,
what do you got as
they're
far
dogs.
as like produce and stuff? Or are you just like meat farming?
Yeah, I have a commercial cannabis license and I make hash for a living.
No way,
Yo!
That's the best
Oh.
produce out there.
And
dude. Wait,
I-
so with a commercial license, how many plants can you grow?
there is no limit.
No limit. So how big's your facility? You have like a little indoor greenhouse
Yeah,
for
I
'em?
have a shipping container that we kind of like built out. It's like 400,
That's so fucking cool.
400 square feet of canopy space, and then we have a cold room
Holy
that
shit.
we make solventless hash rosin out of.
So, like, where do you sell it? Do you just go to farmers markets and just be like, yo, dude,
Buy some fucking weed.
check out my...
We,
So
Yeah.
is it so you said you
We
have a
sell
hash
it-
license? So are you only allowed to sell the hash portion, like, and the rest you're just like have to discard or something?
Yeah. Well, we sell to dispensaries, and we have a license to sell flower, but we also have a license to process. So anything that can be like made from the plant, we can process it and sell it to dispensaries.
Oh, yo, that's
Okay.
cool. How profitable is that? Pretty good or what?
It's hard work. If you don't like love doing it, it's not for you. It's
But
a lot
you
of
like
hard
working
work.
with plants and stuff?
Yeah, I really do. It's like my second music, I guess. You know, I'm almost as passionate about it as I am music. So
Okay.
that's what keeps me interested in it. But it's very hard work, and it's very much like you would think that farming is. It's not as glamorous as
Oh,
one
dude,
might
yeah.
think.
Farming is like, as much as
Dude.
I love playing Stardew Valley, like I imagine in real life, that is the worst. Just like having to go out and like, just all day, just like snipping some small stuff. Like, I don't know exactly how you get weed out the weed tree, but like I imagine it is difficult, and it's not like the most easy thing to listen.
Dude,
okay, I said
there's
tree
so much that goes
intentionally.
into it.
Okay.
My girlfriend worked at a CBD facility, so all of the plants had less than 0.03% THC or whatever the heck the legal limit is. And she was saying she would go into the greenhouses they had, and they were like 90% humidity, 100 something degrees. It has to be really hot, really humid. And then with that humidity, mold. If you get mold or any kind of fungus, kills all your fucking plants. It spreads everywhere. It's so hard to keep that shit from dying. Like, I can't even imagine. And it would suck if your whole fucking harvest just died, because it takes like 6 months to grow a plant. Like, fuck.
Yep. So you would just have to be like working really hard and don't let things slack, and just stay on top of shit so that.
And you have to like trim the. Yeah, you have to like trim the plants, but you can't trim off the little new growth things, because if you kill the growth nodes, then you just like killed an entire part of the plant that could have existed.
I've played a lot of like Minecraft and RimWorld and stuff, so
it's the same.
Understand.
It's literally the same.
Yeah, you're
basically there.
dude, in RimWorld, where you get the blights on your plants and you gotta cut those blights out until before it spreads to your crops. Like
that's literally exactly the same thing.
Literally totally. I can totally relate to this too. Even is the thing.
Yes,
I've never played RimWorld, but I know people that love it, obsess over it.
How many blights have you gone on your plants, Michael?
Oh man, we've been pretty fortunate. We have a pretty vigilant approach to making sure that we don't get pests and molds and stuff like that. But every grow deals with them eventually. But it's just kind of if you have processes or SOPs in place that and you stick to them.
So if I were to go up to your merch table at a show, what is the secret password I would need to say for you to pull out that extra special merch? If you know what I'm saying.
That dank merch.
Don't answer that.
I can't, man. I'm so like thankful to have the license and stuff. I've actually been to prison for this shit. So
okay.
But like I'm super thankful to have the license and shit. So I just
if you got the license, we know you're respecting it. No worry. Where do you live to do the license?
Oh, sorry.
Where do you live to do the farming then? Like where?
Oklahoma. And it was like remarkably easy. Not like as easy as just like there's some hoops you have to jump through, but like if you want it, you can definitely make it happen.
I feel like for something like that, it's okay. So I went to the doctor and they were like, "Oh, we go scan your heart," and then they essentially didn't, and they were like $800, and then in order to get like financial assistance type deal, there is so many hoops you have to jump through because they do not want to financially assist you, which I ended up just paying it in the end because I'm like, this is a lot. But like, it took so much in order to even try to do that. And I feel like in comparison, getting one of those like the weed papers, I feel like maybe not that bad. Maybe not as hard as just applying for financial assistance. Like I could do it.
Definitely getting like a medical card, super easy. A little bit more difficult to get a commercial license, but also not incredibly hard.
So you have to run by like FDA standards and shit, right?
Well, it's like still federally illegal, so no. But there's like a pretty there's like a lab testing requirement through every process. So like if you sell flower,
like you can't use certain pesticides and stuff. Like there's like rules on it though.
And they test for like molds and mycotoxins and mildew and all that crap. And if you test out of the allowable limit, then you can't sell it.
Okay. Those things are run by the state then instead of the federal?
No, they're it's actually like I mean there's like the legality of how it operates is set at the state level, but it's actually like a privatized system. There's like different labs all across the state that are just like their own corporations.
And the state just requires you to go to those ones. Okay, that makes sense.
So which comes first, right? Because it's like
federally legal, dude.
So you have the thought like, oh yeah, I want to grow weed, like and like as like a job, like maybe on the side or even full time, just aside from doing music, right? So is it that you start growing the weed first and then you apply, or you have to apply before you grow anything, or else they're like, all right, bro, this is wild? Because I know some places you can just where it's legal in the state, I believe you can have like 3 of your own plants just growing, just like fine, right? Or something like that. But then once you
my state, you can have like 6 or 12 plants, or maybe I can't remember.
Oh my God, without a license?
Yeah, well, you have to have a medical card.
Well, that's for personal use. It's for personal use too. To sell it, you have to have the.
Does Oklahoma not have recreational? It doesn't have recreational. Oh, dude, that blows.
Yeah,
Virginia does, though, right, Canyon?
Virginia does. Virginia, I would like to say doesn't care, but also I think I heard something about them reforming that because I think that they were like a little spooked by it. But then also somebody was having like this really good opinion where it's like, well, we don't limit how much alcohol people can have. Like, why would we limit their? I don't know. People, I'm sure. You know what? I know someone who would know, who might know. Their name's Michael Skaggs. He's in here right now. Do you know anything about it? It's okay. So I guess. I don't want to go off the music like too crazy much, but at the same time,
just been talking about weed.
It's seriously, it's some of my favorite part. It's some of my favorite part about doing these interviews is like
interesting.
We interviewed Brian Butcher, which is a sick ass name, from the home team like a couple weeks ago, and like we talked about like, oh dude, so fucking good. I know, right?
Yeah.
And we talked about like him and just veganism and like markets for like the longest time. And I don't know. That's half the reason I love doing this podcast is just getting to like know the people behind the music. Getting to know the music part stuff is cool, but like for all of us in the band, we always do music, so it's always fun to just talk about like the other people, like what they do outside of music. Because I kind of want to know what I look forward to.
If you love the home team, our last single had Brian from the home team singing on it.
Oh shit!
Oh, true. Yeah, we did that.
Fucking nice.
Yeah,
that's badass. Hell yeah.
So yeah, as far as weed and stuff goes, like
long as hell, and it's a trip. 18 different verses.
So yeah, as far as weed stuff goes, which came first for you? Just growing plant, and then you like decided you wanted to like do this on the side because you were like, wait, this is actually really fun taking care of these plants. Like, I want to do something with this, or like, what was the thought process?
Well, I lived in Colorado for a number of years, and while I was there, me and some of my old roommates, we had like small scale home grows, like not like quite like a closet grow, more like a basement, like. Really trying to get it type shit.
Whoa, you had all those big ones. Yeah, you're making money.
Well, not exactly.
Was it for personal?
We were really interested in solventless like extracts at the time. This was like 2014 to like 2018, 17. And
solventless as in like you're just squishing the stuff out of it, or what?
Well, that's like that's solventless also, but that's like flower rosin. I'm talking more specifically like bubble hash and bubble hash rosin. That's like where you
legit don't know what that is.
It's basically like you freeze the material when you harvest it, and then you put it in an ice water bath, and you agitate that, and the water gets poured through a set of sieves. Each one is like a different micron size, and different microns possess like different like properties. And I'm trying to like condense it really tight, but essentially you take that, and you freeze dry all the water out of it, and then you press like you would flower rosin.
Products that's
look really
cool.
similar. It's just very much more refined.
As you put it through the sieves, like the plant matter gets taken out, and you only have the head. The crystals.
Basically, you're left with like the glandular head, and then when you apply heat and pressure, those heads pop, and then you get like that like sticky like material.
Bro, we just got a freeze dryer, and I'm like, dude, I want to do that. That sounds cool as hell. That sounds so fun.
Totally. That's what you need. So we did a little bit of that, but when I was in Colorado, like butane hash oils were like the rave. Like there weren't like a lot of people doing solventless stuff at that time, and we were mostly just interested from like the health aspects of it, just because we didn't love the idea of using anything that had solvents in it. So and for this specific type of extract process, the genetics of the specific plants that you're using is very important. There's some plants that just don't extract at all, or don't extract very well, or extract at a super low rate of yield. So I did that a bit in Colorado, and when I moved back to Oklahoma, like I said earlier, I had been to prison for weed and all that bullshit. So just getting my medical card, where I was able to like smoke comfortably and not worry about being persecuted was like a big full circle moment. But
that's like a nice step where you can do it legally now and you don't have to like be all scared or anything, and it's just nice and you can be comfortable with it.
Yeah, but long story short, I started growing like for personal with my medical card. And a friend of mine that also lived in Colorado moved back to Oklahoma about the same time I did. And well, since we had known each other in Colorado, we would be like, we'd hang out a couple times a week. And through a series of just hangouts where we kind of pipe dreamed this idea of starting a company. And he had a friend that started a big grow in town with like a dispensary and stuff. And I had made friends with an extract company in town that was like processing the flower that I was growing for personal use. And I was like, hey, if you go work for that grow and like go pick up some experience, like I'll go try to get an internship with this company and we'll figure out what we need to learn and put it. Long story short, we both did that and started a company.
You did what's it called where you like go undercover to a different place to learn all their secrets and then you took it and just did your own thing?
Well,
I forget that's
corporate espionage.
Espionage.
Sure. Well,
yeah.
I went into this company and from day one I was just like, I want to start my own company, but like I will volunteer my labor and I'm a super hard worker. So like, and they were at a point where they like really needed help, but weren't at a point where they could like hire people. So it was just like a good
mutually beneficial then.
Mutually beneficial espionage.
They ultimately,
which is not as frowned upon.
Ultimately, they ended up hiring me, and I worked there for like 6-8 months or something like that. But
nice.
that led us to starting our own company.
Bro, that's sick though. So is it you and your pal that just like run this thing, or?
Yeah, I have a business partner, and then my wife helps out, and his wife helps out as well.
Dude, that's so sick. Dude, I love that.
How many hours a day do you spend like working on this? Like, is it your primary job?
Yes and no. Of all of the things that I invest my time in, it generates the most money. But we're kind of like really trying to aggressively scale. So everything that we make, we just kind of funnel right back into it. I have like a screen printing business, and my business partner is a personal trainer, and his wife is a personal trainer and a nurse, and we just kind of like do what we have to do to make sure that all of our bills are paid and needs are met and stuff. But with the ultimate goal that like this company will be like our main thing. But right now we're just kind of like incubating it, and it's like we could probably take a pretty meager salary right now, but it's like the money goes so much farther when we reinvest it back
in the
into
business. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah. Like
we do that for the band, like that for the band. It's like I think a lot of bands break up because they start making a little bit of money and they're like, how are we going to split this? And it's like you put it back into the band, that way the band can grow until you can make salaries off of it, if ever. Maybe it's just something you do and your name gets out there and you start a podcast or you do a side grow business. Like everybody kind of has something.
At this point, our band's finally making enough off of streaming royalties to be self-sustainable to get us new recordings. Like we're getting there,
which is fine.
Totally.
Yeah, it's just living a normal life, except you're just always busy with something. There's always something going on.
Do you make enough off of music to kind of rely on it maybe as a fallback for your businesses elsewhere, or?
Yeah, so I have some residual tracks that we collect on like every month, like through like DistroKid and stuff like that. Me personally, I've done a lot of co-writing with other bands, and I have got lucky a couple times where some of those have paid off, like not in huge ways, but in predictable,
in numerous ways, multiple times, where it gives you like a small enough number, but a big enough number multiple times coming in every month.
So nice. I'd say since like 2018 or 2019, my like monthly royalties will pay like my portion of like a mortgage or my whatever my renting situation has been. I say
okay,
like,
oh, dang, that's still pretty good though.
Yeah, it's not terrible. You know, we just signed a record deal, so like the stuff we're putting out right now goes.
So are you guys on Thriller Records?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's sick as fuck. They're they're the record label that the owner of a different label started, right?
It's the owner of Fearless, yeah.
Owner of Fearless, okay.
Dude, everybody knows everybody in this industry. Specifically, like this genre of music, like, because I know you were talking about a DGD earlier, right? And like, there's a specific website you can go to where it shows like all these bubbles of like, you know, fairly significant bands to highly significant bands and how they interconnect in like this huge weave. And you guys are on the DGD. You guys are in that DGD bubble as well.
Cool.
Was that intentional, by the way? Like, it makes sense as to why you're there, but like, are you aware like how far into this genre you are, or are you just trying to lean towards more like heavier stuff?
You're discussing that sounds very interesting. I'd like to see that.
Dude, it's crazy. Yeah, it's like a bunch of little bubbles, and like you can like look up your band and like how you interconnect to other bands and how likely people are there to listen to you. It's a wild thing to look at.
That's really
you gotta
interesting.
show me that.
We've played shows with DGD when Johnny was in the band, and then we've toured with like Slaves a bunch. Yeah, we toured with Slaves a bunch. I DJ'd for Kyle Lucas for a while and toured with Slaves with him, toured with Johnny with him. And even now, like the Rain City Drive dudes, they're like super big homies. Like even when Johnny left, like we were still doing like bumping around, doing like one-offs with them and shit.
Nice.
They're on your label too, aren't they?
Yeah.
Dang.
Man, it's crazy cool just being able to like talk to the people, like the people that we interview, right? Like we interview small people, we interview, you know, bigger people, and it's fun hearing the connections between everything, and it's very weird to have a podcast because our podcast is obviously not as big as like our actual band. Sure. But like people still are just like, yeah, I'll be on your podcast. It's so crazy that people are just like, yeah, we'll just go on there and just chat about whatever for like a fucking hour or so, and then we'll just head off. Like, it's very cool to get to know the people that are like a part of the music.
Dude, I kind of have like a mutual respect and like understanding for like these kinds of things. You know, I pretty much say yes to all of them. Like some of them are super developed, and you can tell people have been doing them for a long time. Some of them have zero audience. Some of them, I'm surprised at the audience, but it's just like, if anybody gives a shit enough to like even talk to me for like an hour about the shit that I've done, then it's just like I want to like provide that space to do that, regardless of what that means for me. You know, I mean, I don't mean that in like a vain way, but like just in like
we get what you're saying.
If the interest
it's like,
is there, like
why not support it? Yeah, so, that way you can, because
your first.
I think whenever you go, Thomas.
Your first EP was produced by Joey Sturgis, right?
Not exactly. It was actually self-produced, but Joey Sturgis mastered it.
I see.
It's actually kind of crazy. He was working on Asking Alexandria's first release with Joey at the time, and that was like right about the time the big like reverse gated snare drums like started just making it into the world. And he had just figured out that trick. And like they were in the studio and they're like, oh, that's fucking sick. And he was like mastering our stuff. We were just paying him to like master, but like we get a test mix back of Every Boy Should Collect Knives, and there's like 57 of those reverse gated snares. And it was just like, it was the first thing we had ever done with Joey. And dude, this was like 2010, like maybe 2009. So like he had just done like Prada's like first thing, and like he was just starting. But he sent us that master back, and I remember CJ, our guitar player, being like, man, this sounds really good, but you think you could take like 3/4 of those out?
Like the loudest fucking thing you've ever
You think you could just get rid of most of those?
They sounded so cool, but there was just like so many of them.
There's just so many that it's just like blaringly obvious. Like it's like, that's all I'm going to be able to hear listening to this.
Totally. And I remember when we got that master, like he was living like, I can't remember, I think in Michigan somewhere, but like just in the middle of nowhere. And his internet was so bad that he had to mail us a disc of the masters.
Oh, wow.
2010 internet.
Awesome.
2010 internet is so fucking bad. That's so sick, though.
Closet over here that's like my time capsule, and that's one of the things that's inside it.
Dude, that's so sick.
Bro, that's actually hilarious. Like that's so he wasn't as much of a name as he is now when he was working on that EP.
He was definitely starting, like, we were very aware of who he was and we wanted to work with him. Like, that was a reason that we sent him our stuff to master. It just wasn't like, we're in Oklahoma, he was in Michigan, we're a brand new band with no support. So it wasn't like something that even at that point that we could justify shelling out for, you know? Like
so you got speaking to labels and they were like, all right, you need your stuff to sound good. And you're like, well, now that we have this opportunity, we want this guy to be the one that masters it. Is that how that timeline like kind of went?
No, we hadn't quite, like, the labels started paying interest after we started releasing that EP, I guess. Our guitar player at the time was just like very inspired by what Joey was doing and what Cameron Mizell was like starting to do in the producing like world. So like the kind of production that he was doing was very inspired. Like he was like slip editing guitars and like riff building where like, you know, you just slip edit the note, slip edit the note, and then program that all together so that it's like literally like perfect, like in human.
It's the best you can make it sound like. I like if you ever just want like a note to stand out and you're like, I like this part, but then I like this part of this time that I played the note, and you just put it together and it just sounds perfect. Yeah, I love that.
I imagine that was quite a bit more difficult, 10, 15 years ago than it is now.
Yeah. So, that earlier when you guys mentioned the differences between like social media and stuff, that was the other thing that immediately came to mind, was just that while gear we were just kind of crossing the threshold, I guess, where bands could be somewhat self-sustainable in the studio. Nowadays, like, you can pretty much do it. Like, if you have somebody in your band that's like pretty good with mixing and mastering and engineering, like, you can pretty much make it happen. But back then it was a lot more rare.
All of us,
our guitar player CJ, at the beginning of the band, we had like, it was like some M audio, like little tiny audio file monitors and like a single channel or dual channel USB.
Yeah, and it's always for those older times. It was all, I say older times like it's like 1,000 years ago, but like it was all hardware. Like everything was this thing you had to buy. Whereas now it's like, oh, where's this $5 or free plugin that someone put 30 years into or something that I can get? Like I have all this stuff. I have like my Born Jip, and then like I've got an Axe FX box and all this physical equipment. But all I do is I take my guitar and I plug it into my 10-year-old 2i2 Focusrite and then open up Tim Henson's Polyphia Architect thing. Yeah. And I'm like, there's literally everything I need.
Me and
like,
Josh were just talking about before the podcast about like how we have like Joey Sturgis like plugins now.
Yeah, same.
So it just kind of goes full circle right there.
Oh, totally.
Dude, the gain reduction plugin is fucking amazing.
Yeah, that was like a huge moment in audio producing. That one has been around for like 10 years, but now like it's kind of crazy because we know Joey's wife Kristen because she plays guitar for Conquer Divide. We've toured with them a bunch of times, and she's super with it with like marketing and crap like that. And Joey is too, but when they got together, like, I know that she played a pretty big part in like helping to create what like is now like JST Tones. Like, I remember when it was just like he was just a guy that like paid a guy to help him make a plugin, and now it's like he's synonymous with that name,
Yeah, Drew Owens produced our first EP, and he just started doing kind of stuff like that too, because he has the Moxie plugins now.
Nice.
Wait, there's Moxie plugins?
Yeah,
they are. They're sick as hell.
I didn't know that.
I'm very jealous.
That's sick. One of our.
I feel like that's always. Oh, you go.
One of the guys that we used to like record drums with, and he's just like a awesome producer, engineer, like all mixer and all that shit all the way around. He created. What the fuck is the name of it? This set of impulses that like pretty much everybody has used, like for the last like 10, 15 years. S-Press.
Impulses are like the room reverbs and stuff for the.
Yeah, it's like the cab emulation or response, like when you're using like a guitar tone to make it more like real. But he kind of like stumbled upon like one that everybody has been using for forever, and it's just like some guy that we've just always known that just like made it in his bedroom. When we
He
were
just
all,
ended
like,
up doing his
19
own
years
thing.
old.
That's crazy.
That's super cool.
But we knew that he made that, and then like we would go on tour, go work with other producers and stuff, and we'd just be like watching them work, and then they would load that Impulse, and we'd just kind of. Like,
was there any point where you were like, oh, like this is what I'm doing now, like this definitely real? Like, when did the music thing hit you? Has it not got there yet? Was it just too slow of a build that it's just kind of like it's just kind of every day now? Or like, what is it for you?
Man, it's definitely like, it's not one of those things that I feel like you feel all the time. It's definitely a very like momentary thing. Because I could tell you moments like all the way through our career that felt like that. Like even in the MySpace days.
You feel like this is it. Like, oh my God.
Like there was this moment where we got this message on MySpace from this company in Japan that was just like, we have demand for your music here. We never even played a show yet. Like we have demand for your music here. Will you send us 100 copies of your most recent EP, and we'll pay full price for them and pay for the shipping? And we're just like,
whoa,
what? But fast
That's
forward,
fucking cool.
Fast forward like 6 or 8 months, and multiple shipments later, and like we signed our first distribution deal in Japan before we had ever like had a record deal in America.
I'm so jealous. I want a Japan deal. What the hell? They just fly me out and give me like a good like onsen or whatever it is. Just give me a hot tub or something and give me some good food, and then like you don't even have to pay me. Just like give me a good time for like a week. I'll give you as many CDs you want.
I just want to do that Mario Kart thing.
Oh, the go-kart in the streets.
Yeah.
God, that'd be so cool.
That'd be so sick.
They got so many silly things you can do over there. And I'm like, listen, I know they got their fair share of stuff. Listen, I know all about that, but I want to do the silly stuff, and then I'll make them as much. Listen, I want to be sponsored by Japan. Get me in the Mario Kart. Get me in an onsen.
Country.
Dude,
and I'll make you a couple
doing
songs.
Ads for Japan on the podcast until
we need to learn Japanese, and then we just pretend to be a Japanese podcast, and then they'll get in there.
This podcast is sponsored by
Speaking of ads,
Japan.
ad break.
Japan, the country.
I did notice that Josh's video froze, and he just kind of he's just been frozen. Oh, are you there, Josh?
I could hear up until like 20 seconds ago.
Oh, okay.
And then
you still recording though, right?
Everybody was frozen. Every single person was frozen except for Michael.
What?
And I was like, I don't know why I can see him and he's talking and I can hear everybody, but I could see Michael's thing moving and everything, and I was like, dude, my internet's definitely about to shut off.
Michael, the blessed child. Well, that's
Did your
okay.
recording keep going though?
Yeah, my recording's still going. We're Gucci.
God bless America.
It's just my internet went out, so
that's
kinda
cool
weird.
though. Yeah, I mean, at least we got like a lot of the episode in, but before your internet shit itself. But it's still fine. You still sound like perfectly fine, honestly. The difference between your like headset mic and your phone mic is honestly not that big of a difference.
It's like
Just
you're in the
set this
vocal
right
booth
here.
now.
I'm in the vocal booth.
In the stew.
Dude, you're talking
I'm
about
in the
like
stew.
you're talking about
Basically
how
same.
like it was harder before, but now we've got like all this stuff, and like anybody can like make stuff. And we do this thing on our podcast where we do song challenges. So like literally once a month, we'll all write a song based around like our last song challenge was like Go Hard, where you just had to have a song that goes hard, and that's the thing for it. I forget what ours is this time. I think it was Indie Bullshit was the Indie Bullshit. We all gotta make that. We get like 4 weeks to make a thing. And honestly, like if you listen to our first music challenge, it sounds pretty okay. But like our most recent ones, every single one of them, I'm like, bro, these sound like phenomenally, like maybe not like masterfully produced or whatever, but it's just crazy what we can do in our rooms. Because now, like, I live in Virginia, and then Josh and Cade and Thomas, they live in Utah, whereas Thomas lives like a bit further away from Josh and Cade. I'm not gonna give you like their personal addresses, but it's like a pretty good description, I feel like. So we're like pretty separated. We can't like just get together and do shows. And even when we were together, we lived in St. George, and they hate music and having fun and just anything that isn't immediately going to church.
Right.
So they despise that. So you can't even play shows there. So even when we were like an actual band in person, we only ever did like 2 or 3 shows or something. But it's crazy how far we're able to go just not doing shows because we can't get together, you know, as of right now, until there's a demand enough for people to get us on the road.
That's definitely something that's changed too. Is back then it was just like, all right, get your shit on the road, go tour. You can't get on a support tour, go get on the road and go grind as a headliner and build numbers so that you can pitch to get on a bigger tour, or pitch to a label, and now it's like it's almost like the college debate. Like people are more like, all right, well, don't just get on the road and go lose all your money and blow it. Like be smart about touring, and you know. Like that's just kind of, there's a lot of ways that things are different.
Now all it takes is like to be an internet band. It's like, oh, outside, gross. I'm just gonna like, I don't know, just like take a picture of like a dog at a weird angle and put our music over it and just be like, kiddies, and then like have like a meme on there or something, and then like you're just like famous the next day sometimes. It's just it's a luck of the draw. It feels like. I mean, if you have good music, I think obviously if you put in the work, like regardless, you'll see something from that. But sometimes it's just as easy as just posting a funny thing on the internet. It happens to go viral. It just happens to have your song on it, and then you're really popular the next day. Like it's crazy the things that can happen nowadays.
Oh, absolutely. Like the TikTok thing is crazy because I feel like we're always trying to tap into it, and it's really funny because we've like been a band for so long and like adapted to so many social medias, and I figured it out like as far as like how to make content and stuff, but we just haven't had like a viral moment, I guess, yet. But like we have like good listenership on Spotify, we have like good engagement on Twitter, and we got a homie that's like a fan that's just fucking hilarious, and he just has the keys to our Facebook page and posts like memes like constantly and shit.
Dude, that's cool. We need to get on that.
Yeah, no, totally. It's definitely helped. Like, I actually just got a notification today that was like, the last 60 days on Facebook, you've increased your visibility, and it's like, sweet. That's exactly what we
just get a homie, just a funny guy. You say, hey, you wise guy, come over here and run our social media, and he's like, hey, I'm a wise guy. Huh?
He's the band jester.
Well, I feel like it really takes like an outsider, because like there's a lot of things where I'm just like he'll even post it and I'm just like
no, that's silly.
It's nothing to do with him or anything. It's just like the artist in me like wants us to be like successful on our own merit of like being like a good band that's been around for a long time, not because like we posted a cool meme today or we tricked a bunch of people into looking at our shit because we posted.
It is kind of sad, huh? Like not sad, but like it's understandable why it's like that. But it is like, you don't just want to like my music. I have to like post funny dog memes.
That's the downside of the newer age. It's just that there is a lot of congestion.
I mean, there's just too much music.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah,
you like people's
like,
attention. It's hard. You gotta grab somebody's attention and get them to spend their precious time to check your music instead of the actual millions of other bands.
Yeah.
Doing thousands of other types of genres, you know, like even within the genre that you're playing, there's probably a good couple hundred to a couple thousand bands just doing stuff within the genre. So you're competing with everybody.
That's why I think we should start doing like concerts on cruise ships, because they can't go anywhere.
They can't fucking go anywhere.
They have to listen to your music.
Captive
no
audience,
internet.
dude, that's where it's at.
Or
we
playing
your
like music on an airplane.
Yeah. We go shiprock. Dude, I would love to just start playing some pirate music. That'd be fucking fire. Just go on the boat and play pirate music.
Yes, get on an airplane, start blasting your music.
On an airplane.
Where are they gonna go? You know?
They literally can't leave.
They can't go anywhere.
Modern problems require modern solutions.
Another thing you could do is you could falsely advertise that a huge band is going to be playing. You fill the venue with people, and then you lock the doors behind them and play your band instead.
That sounds like a fire hazard.
That is marketing.
Pretty sure that
Well, you leave there's a button you can press that says there is currently a fire in the building. Please let me exit. And then you actually have somebody standing outside who's ready to remove it as soon as they verify that there's actually a fire, of course, because you wouldn't want people to be able to
verified. Yeah,
it's working. Stupid things to get attention. Did you see what we did a couple weeks ago?
No.
What did you guys do?
We just pulled up.
So we did a song
on TikTok or what?
Void, last year, and we finally shot a music video for it. And they're like a funny band that is like, that's part of their like charm, is that they're funny. And we're funny, but not in our music videos. And you know, like we kind of have this like dark, serious thing going on.
Yeah. To build your audience, you have to be.
Yeah, when we were shooting with them, we were like, how do we like meld our worlds together? So we came up with this idea that's just like, the concept is just like very stereotypical drug like abusing like kind of like storyline, but instead of using drugs, Benny from Avoid is just eating beans out of a can.
Is it the bean thing? I'm on his TikTok right now, and the first thing I see is in all blue, just this guy aggressively eating a spoonful of beans.
Holy shit!
He does all these like tweaker things in the video, but instead of having like needles and pipes, he's got beans. So
is there a scene where there's just a girlfriend just like freaking out at him, and he's just zoned out on the couch just
eating beans?
No, but there's one where he's like in bed with this girl and she's asleep, and he like checks to see if she's awake, and then like goes over and there's a can of beans under the bed, and he's just like
Dude, that's so fucking funny.
So we do this music video, and the label's like, how do you guys want to put it out? Like what do you want to do to get some attention for it? And I was just being a jackass, and I was just like, oh man, let's sell beans, and there'll be Benny's beans, and we'll sell them, beans. And we'll only sell 10 so that they'll like sell out really fast, and we can make a big deal about it.
Yeah.
And then like after they sell out, we'll do like a fake FDA cease and desist. So, but the label like actually loved the idea. So I designed it, and
dude, that's so cool. So what beans? What beans are those?
Dude.
What beans are those? Are these Heinz baked beans?
I just bought them at the grocery store, and just like
labels
on the cover. They say not for resale, and you're like, don't worry, I'm not going to resell them. I'm going to rebrand them, and then I'll resell them. That's a totally different process, you know. Has nothing to do with Heinz baked beans, you know.
Right?
It's just go like take a hike.
Just a gag, but you know,
isn't that kind of crazy that for a time your job was like making a fake bean brand and like just filming like this weird fucking beans video? Like, is that not crazy that as musicians it's like, I don't know, we'll just do whatever the fuck we want, I guess.
It was pretty funny. But they sold out within like an hour, and the label was really excited about it, and we posted the cease and desist, and an astonishing amount of people thought that it was real. We got like 1,000 likes on it on Instagram or something, which is like unheard of these days.
That's awesome.
But then they ended up releasing like another 12 cans like the day that the music video came out, and they also sold out. It's just like, man, we convinced like 20 people to buy a can of beans for $10. Like, it's kind of ridiculous.
Dude, it's special. Yeah.
All right.
That's fucking crazy.
Dude, want to know something crazy? Avoid is actually, we opened for them for our first live show.
Oh,
Nice.
wait, are you serious?
It's a fucking small world, yeah.
That's crazy.
They were on a tour. They came through St. George, and that was our first show.
Damn,
dude, I was so engrossed, and I also don't know anybody like ever. I just stay in my house and play guitar, but like I just was just like, okay, I'll play my music. I don't know who these fucking guys are. I'm just now learning this. That was that's crazy.
We actually go way back with that band. All of our first shows in Seattle were with them, but when they used to be called Avoid the Void, and we used to play with them every time we came through Seattle.
That's kind of cool, though. I like it.
Yeah.
What's the guy? What's the memester guy that's in this genre? You know, it's the Goblin guy, Bill Murray.
Tom from Patient 67.
What are you talking about? I'm talking about Bill Murray. Who's Tom?
What?
Who's
No
Tom?
way. There's no way. No. I mean, Bill Murray.
I don't know Tom.
I've seen him
but
around. I've seen Patient 67 around.
Listen. I seriously, I don't
Patient
get around
67.
all that much. I know
See,
about
I don't
I know
know.
about y'all because Josh
Really?
introduced me to you guys,
Yeah.
and I
I'm
was
gonna
like,
look
these
it
guys
up.
are sick.
I'm gonna have to look it up.
they're an Australian metalcore band, but they like anything that's like
Australian?
remotely anything that's on the nose.
They gotta be
like
goofballs.
Scenecore, like big time.
Okay.
They're just like they go viral almost every day, posting memes and shit on Facebook.
That's how we're trying to be, dude. But no, Bill Murray, Bilmuri, not like Bill Murray, but that guy. I'm like, you guys should do something with him. Like, I feel like that'd be a fire ass project. You guys, I bet you'd have a lot of fun with that. I don't know if he's easy to contact.
We
But
played
give
a
it
show
a shot.
with them, like the end of last year. You know, that's the dude from Attack Attack, right?
Yeah.
Like from way back,
News to me,
way back
dog.
in the day. Yeah, like the
Are
you serious?
original. Yeah, the original Clean singer. Like he broke off of the band and then started that. He had something else for a while too. It was like called Born Stellar, or I can't fucking remember. There's another project before Bill Murray, but yeah, Bill
There's
Murray
so much
rocks.
things that I don't know. I'm just now learning this.
Everybody is always like, dude, Courtney and guitar player from Spirit Box. I wrestled a bear once.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Dude,
I didn't know that.
It's
Like,
crazy.
they're-
It seriously
they've
is
had
so
that
weird how things are
manager, like,
connected.
since they were in I Wrestled a Bear once.
Dang.
I hope
Holy
that one day we
shit.
get to be a part of this. Josh is
The
frozen.
extended
He's like
universe.
dying.
yeah. Can you hear me though?
Yeah, now you sound fine.
Yeah, we can now.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
pop
All you
back
guys
in.
are. Michael's over here moving like wop 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 wop.
Josh is living in a different
he's
fucking
laughing right
universe.
now. Dude, he's laughing right now. I can see him go like he's like stuttering like back and forth. It's so fucking funny.
Josh
dude.
is living in like a broken, glitchy game world hellscape right now, and we're just like having like a nice
Josh is
conversation.
on acid right now.
Yeah,
Dude, but
he's fucked
canyons,
up.
dude. Basically, dude, canyons in like 7 trillion p quality, and everybody else is in like 1 p quality and moving like.
Oh, like I'm like just look amazing.
Yeah,
I took
for
all
some
their
reason-
data. I took all their
Yeah.
usage, and I look really
he's
good.
siphoning everybody's.
I think I could like
fucking
reach through the computer right now and
Energy
touch you if I
vampire.
wanted.
You are
Yeah.
a hacker.
You just see a hand come out of the screen. I'm just like,
It's me. I'm killing him.
just like
Oh, and he froze mid choke.
Now he freezes.
Okay, now he's. That actually looks like he's being drugged.
Josh, go back to your fucking phone.
I'm gonna go back to my phone.
No, he's fine. He's fine.
Are you sure?
Good. Well, I think
Now
we're
we
getting
can't
a
hear
little.
him anymore.
I think we're getting a little
can't hear
close to
me?
the end of this. We've kept you for a little over an hour now.
Fuck.
Let's see here. Does anybody have any questions that they want to just like
Can you hear me now?
end it off of? Yeah. Did you
That
hear
one
me,
was
Josh?
my mic. I need to get it. Yeah, I need to get a new mic for this, or a whole new headset. It's like fucked.
Oh yeah, true. It's breaking. But no, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. If anybody's got anything else, you gone through any questions?
What are your horses' names? Actually, what
my
are all
God.
your
Yeah,
farm
yeah.
animals' names?
This is
Oh,
for
man, okay.
actually. Do you
So,
name
yeah.
every one of them?
Yeah. We have Blackjack and Rio are the horses.
Okay.
Festus the donkey.
Okay.
Lily the mule.
Wait, these are really good names. What the fuck?
The ducks. There's half of them are male and half are female, and the females are named after the Spice Girls, and the males are named after the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, heck
Dude,
yeah.
that's
Okay.
sick. What the
And
fuck?
then there's a couple extra boys. There's a Julian and Gus, and I have Frankie the rooster, Jezebel the hen. Got some cats that
How
I
do
could
you
name if you
remember all
want.
these? How do you remember
Dang.
all of these?
They're
Are they like your children,
Yeah, how are
like
you
the little
remembering all their
babies?
names?
Oh, how do you
They're
remember all
pets.
the people in your family?
I guess
I don't.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't.
I guess that is true. I don't.
I
I have
have
like my
2
people I remember.
family members, dude.
They're all
That's
pets.
for me.
Like, we
I feel
don't-
like I name
don't
animals.
eat
I'm
any
like,
of 'em.
I'm like, you're fucking cheeseburger. Not because I would eat them. I'd just be like, I don't know what to name you, dude. Like, you're cheeseburger. Your name's Ding Dong. Like, I don't know. Like, I just go from there or something. You're like, your name's
Those are valid names.
Jezebel or whatever. I
When
wouldn't call my kid cheeseburger or Ding. Maybe I would. I don't know. Maybe if they were like really cool, that'd be like their nickname.
I mean, I've met
My
people
first 2
that
pets are going to be named Gregory and Susie.
My first dog's
like
gonna
that.
be named Oliver, because I always
Oliver.
wanted to name a dog Oliver.
If I ever get a horse, I'm gonna name it James Baxter.
James Baxter.
James Baxter. Have you watched Adventure Time?
Yeah.
Okay, so you get the reference.
God bless you. Dude, what a cute horse. Well, hey, Si, it's been a pleasure having you on. Let's see, is there anything that you wanted to? I mean, listen, I'm sure you got further reach than we do, but we get a fair amount of people on this podcast listen, especially people that are fans of yours. So, do you have anything that you want to like shout out before you go off here?
Yeah, any new music?
Social media, anything coming out new, or anything that you keep an eye out for?
We put out a record in October called Coast is Clear on Thriller Records. It's our first record on Thriller, and we're super proud of it. They let us do pretty much everything that we wanted to do, which was like the first time like making an album that we've ever got to like do exactly how you wanted it to. Yeah, and that was really
must be so nice.
Yeah, so we're super proud of it. So check that out if you haven't already. There's a lot of cool features, a lot of cool co-writes. We worked with like people from Atreyu, As I Lay Dying, fucking Sleeping with Sirens, like all sorts of crazy bands, even the Used.
I didn't actually see any of that when I was listening through it.
Yeah, so
I thought that was all you guys.
A lot of it is in the co-writing. One of our managers is a guitar player in the Used, so we've written some songs with him.
Whoa!
Shit!
That song "Bitter" that we put out last year, we wrote that with Brandon Saller from Atreyu.
How does that even happen? You just sit down with them? I guess you just sit down with them and just like write something, and you just bounce it back and forth.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. That's crazy.
So like way back in the day when we used to write records, we would demo everything together, and we would like basically do the record before we went to like go do the record. But when I became the vocalist, I used to do like a lot of like hip hop kind of like lyric writing kind of stuff. And I'm really fast with lyrical stuff, and that's majorly a hang up for a lot of vocalists in the studios. They need that time to like marinate on stuff. And if you give me a topic and I can relate to it, like I can
Then you just go on it?
Hey,
God, I'm so jealous.
Would you say that you are a lyrical spiritual miracle?
I wouldn't go that far, but
okay.
So we
just a lyrical spiritual individual, not a miracle.
Spinning and flipping and dipping and skipping and dipping and flipping.
So we started working with producers that are more so co-writers than just producers, and we'll go in with pretty much nothing, and we'll just write a song. And
dude, that's such a fun time.
Damn, I want to do that.
But we did when we did the Imposter Syndrome EPs, we basically did 10 songs in 30 days, full production, like mix,
Jesus,
master, all that stuff.
Christ.
That included all of the writing. And after we got through that, like I started feeling like super comfortable, and I started co-writing with other people.
How mentally dead are you writing 10 songs in 30 days?
What album
honestly,
was that?
The Imposter Syndrome.
Imposters?
There's 2 EPs we did. And then also Coast is Clear was written the same way. Like we just like went in with nothing and then would write a song every 2 days.
I actually don't think I've ever listened to any of the songs off of Imposter Syndrome.
Oh, heck yeah.
Or the second Imposter Syndrome. I haven't listened to either of those yet.
You got some work to do then.
I didn't know you guys had those. I know when I go to your guys' Spotify, they get buried in the fucking singles.
Yeah, because you
see I've only gone through the albums.
Yeah.
So I didn't know you guys even had EPs, to be honest.
Dude, there's music from My Chemical Romance that I have not listened yet to because I didn't know it fucking existed until my friend told me about it. There's like 7 songs that I haven't heard from My Chem, and I'm like, how is that even possible at this point? That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think My Chemical Romance actually wrote like an entire album, and then they decided not to release it or something, and they wrote a new album, and I think those songs exist somewhere. They might actually be out, but I don't think they got released under an album. I think they got released as like 10 singles or some shit. But they're not under an album name.
Well, sorry. I don't mean to start talking about My Chem during your outro. Give us your socials. Give us your socials. Oh, My Chem's really great, right? We didn't even finish the episode. Go ahead. Yeah, give us your socials. Any ways that these people can, get out to you. We got these these memesters now. They're trying to get in the meme generation, the outline and color meme generation.
Yeah,
they're posting
as you
beans,
heard
y'all.
earlier in this podcast, we have hired a memester, so nothing's off the tables. We're outlining color on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. TikTok in color on TikTok because some asshole took our outline in color.
What an ad! Did you try reaching out?
Yeah,
those assholes.
We're gonna find that
Beat
guy.
his ass.
That's my bad for not believing in TikTok before it was as powerful as it is now, I guess.
You didn't jump on it quick enough.
Back when it was Musically. Yeah.
I wasn't even like that. I didn't want to believe it. It's just like, God, another fucking...
You're like, another thing.
God.
What a fad. It's like, do I go on? It's like, you just didn't expect it, because it's Musically. It's just a dancing app. You wouldn't go onto Pinterest and be like, oh, outlining color on Pinterest. I mean, maybe you have. I don't know. But
yeah, I mean,
you wouldn't expect Pinterest to blow up. But if it did...
At the beginning of TikTok, it was more like, kind of like Vine, like just like funny viral videos and stuff like that. A lot less music discovery. But now music's all up in there.
Yeah, it's just a massive music thing. It's everything. It's some people's entire lives now, which is crazy. But it's been an absolute pleasure having you on, Michael. God bless you for joining on our podcast. It's been a blast. Guys, if you like this episode, go follow us on fucking Instagram. We're just Properties of Nature on Instagram, Twitter, PON_band. You can go into our top link on our Twitter and then our top pinned tweet on our Twitter. You can get our Discord there. So you can come out. Hang out with us in here. We like doing stuff in the in the Speaky channel nowadays. We kind of be doing it every, I don't know, Saturday or Sunday. You'll find us in there sometimes. But
both.
Other than that, propertiesofnature.com for merch stuff. We've got Josh, what's the other one? Or is he dead right now?
I mean, can you hear me right now?
Now I can hear you.
Yeah, it's truewillclothing.com. We're having them do some merch for us. So if you go there, they have like a collaboration section. I think we only have the shirt up right now.
Is there a place to get outline and color merch?
Yeah, outlineandcolor.shop.
You guys have a Patreon or anything like that set up?
We do not have a Patreon. We should, though.
Hey, get you a Patreon, and then you can figure out a way to sell your own. You gotta sell your own extracts on the Patreon, like $20 tier. You get a box,
dude.
Or just sell beans. Yeah,
color was no longer a band.
Nah,
yeah, they don't exist anymore. They all went to jail. Yeah,
you gotta call them Stinky Beans, and they'll be just THC infused beans. And
that would actually be fire. I'd love that.
Yeah.
So bad.
There's a company here that did that.
Really?
They were more like capsules, but they call them sensu beans, like Dragon Ball Z.
Nice.
Dude,
That's awesome.
Properties of Nature, we gotta have hot sauce, but we call it stinky sauce, and we put like THC in it, or just maybe CBD or whatever. Just do the stinky sauce. People would love that. They'd be like, "Bro, give me the stinky sauce for my chickie." They wouldn't say
dank
chickie.
Sauce.
The dank sauce.
I think that's enough. That's enough stinky for one podcast. We'll see everybody later.
Hey, bye guys. Hey, thanks for coming on.